there's a fine line between an ecological book being educational, informative, and really getting the point home. You gotta say, what's the point of it? And that's ultimately the issue and the problem with As the Seas Rise by Angela Quezada Padron. It's As the Seas Rise, Nicole Hernandez-Hammer, and the Fight for Climate Justice. And the issue with the book is that most nonfiction, especially ecological nonfiction illustrated books, they've got a certain template. And they introduce the problem, and then it says, hey, the problem exists, but this person was fighting for it, and they made a dent in it, and they managed to solve the issue somewhat, and here's the problem now. It's still happening, but, as the seas go on, we'll manage to eradicate global warming or plastic in the ocean or whatever your cause may be. As the Seas Rise, though, is about Hammer's Latina upbringing, how she became kind of a force in the South Florida community, how she introduced and, I guess, popularized, to an extent, sunny day flooding, which is a fascinating thing. Have you ever been to a coastal city when it was a sunny day and it was flooding and you're like, what the heck's going on? Basically, that's sunny day flooding, and it's a real thing. It's happening, and there's no argument about that. It's happening, but why is it happening? That is a good illustrated book. This book, though, As the Seas Rise, it tries to introduce Hammer's background, her scientific studies, sunny day flooding, and her social justice, climate justice quest. And the three of them do not a good illustrated book make, because it waters down, if you'll pardon the pun, it waters down the impact of the book. And had it cemented only on Hammer's background, her scientific background, or the topic of sunny day flooding, then it would be like, okay, kids, I get the book, and this is it. This is the power of it. But As the Seas Rise implies to those young readers that the situation or the issue of sunny day flooding has been solved. It hasn't. And it's just, there's one scene in particular, one page, where it all but has a halo effect over some houses that have solar panels on the roofs now. And hey, look at that, it solved the problem, yippee-ki-yay. And it doesn't. And as an illustrated book, it's just far too mamby-pamby, eye in the sky. Doesn't solve anything. It didn't get the memo. And, for your eco library, is it going to be a horrible fit? No, because it will introduce some young readers to sunny day flooding, which is a good scientific cause and something that's got to be studied. How do we solve this? Is it the fact that we're living too close to the coast and they're always going to flood? Who knows? Who's it for? If you're in the Captain Planet crowd and they can do no wrong, As the Seas Rise will be a book for you. However, for most elementary school libraries, or those that choose to think about the subject matter, it's going to be far too simplistic, and it will make you ask more questions that do not deserve to be asked because of the fault of the book. There are better scientific answers.